ёбаная! Ебать!
Hey y'all, so I'm going to do a quick video. It's going to be a two-parter. This is going to be for the Armory series and also the Power of series, right? So this one is the Power of Grenades. So the main thing about grenades is more of their utility. So what they do is they enable you to do things that they wouldn't have allowed you to do before. And that's the real power of grenades. Of course, they explode and they kill people, or they stun people. I guess smoke grenades doesn't really fall into that, but of course they have that capacity. But the real value of them is, like, say you gotta storm a building, you can throw like 4 grenades and like get in the building with relative safety because of the suppression. And so that's the power of grenades. And then of course you have the various grenades, right? So F1 is an interesting one. Whenever you throw it, it's always going to roll to the left. So you can actually do cool things with that. That's the thing about the F1. But its damage is less than the RGD5, which is going to roll like straight, which is also good. And also does more damage. So I usually I prefer the RGDs over the F1s, but you can do some really cool stuff with the F1s. And then we got the VOG 25 and the VOG 17. So these things are just obscenely powerful. It's so especially with the VOG 25, it has an explosion delay of 2 seconds. So if you throw this at somebody and it lands at their feet, they're basically dead. Whereas like a normal grenade, it would take 5 seconds to go off, right? 3.5. So RGD is 3.5. Let's see. 3.5. Okay, so 3.5 compared to 2 seconds. That's a big amount of time. Let's see here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. So VOGs are very scary, but they cost more. So if you run a VOG, it's more potent, but it's gonna cost more, right? So then if you're just like on a budget, then you want to run either the RGDs or the F1s because they're more affordable. And I usually run about 3, right? And then there's the stun grenades, which are a little bit cheaper. And so they're effective against like scavs, and they also have suppression elements to them, just like grenades. So they'll help you storm a building, but people that are really on point and know what to do, they know to look away and stuff like that. So they're pretty unreliable, but they do enable you to do things that you weren't able to do before, just like grenades, which is the really impressive thing about grenades. It's not so much just blowing shit up, it's like the utility aspect. Right, and so the thing about grenades is it's much more of a utility thing, which is actually kind of what smoke grenades are just alone, which is like inherently less utility because it doesn't create like technically suppression, but it is like on the spot concealment, which isn't as good as cover, but it is kind of similar. So like in enclosed environments, like dorms, you can throw down a smoke grenade in the hallway, and then like whoever's on the other side of that hallway can't see on the other side of the hallway now, right? And that's because of something that you did, and so that could be advantageous, disadvantageous, all sorts of things, but it does have its effects, and they only cost like $5 grand. I mean, mostly nobody runs them because, I mean, you gotta play the game a little bit slower for them to like really be useful. But like if you're gonna be in dorms for like the next 2 minutes, I mean, a smoke grenade is like pretty viable. Like I consider it viable. I run 1 smoke grenade usually, so long as like my rig holds it and all that. Right, so that's all of the grenades in the game currently, other than like grenade launchers and whatnot. So the only other thing I would mention would be like the amount of grenades I run it each raid. Usually I run about 3 minimum. 1 or 2 is effective, like it has a kill threat of a grenade, but it doesn't have like consistent suppression that like 3 provides. And if you run any more, you're like at risk of hackers seeing that you have like a whole bunch of grenades and just like killing you. But like 3 really isn't enough sometimes, and so like if I really need like the extra firepower, I'll run about 4 or 5, maybe 6. Ideally you'd want like about 8, but that's a lot. So yeah, that pretty much concludes the power of grenades and the grenade bit of my Armory series. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch you in the next one.